Hi, my name is Will Moran, and welcome to my project walkthrough of Field Scout. This is a full stack project that I built with React, C Sharp, ADO.NET, and some styling, of course. So I built this project with my past experience in mind working in a wholesale greenhouse. So a large portion of growing a good plant is maintaining an eye on insect populations that might be damaging your crops and effectively applying chemicals in order to solve those issues. So at the time, we were using an Excel spreadsheet, um, but I wanted to build an application that was going to allow me to track data and then visualize that data using graphs and heat maps. So that's where Field Scout comes in. When you start up the app, you start on the login page. You also have the option to register as a new user where you'll enter your name, email, and then associate yourself with one of the facilities that is built in. But we'll just go ahead and log in as John here. So when you log in, you are going to be taken to the dashboard. And the first thing you'll notice is this carousel of graphs. They're going to start out empty. And what it allows you to do is filter based on each house, and it'll give you a view of populations in each greenhouse for the last 4 growing weeks. So this can be super helpful if you as a grower are growing a lot of the same crop. Say you have a whole house of poinsettias and whiteflies are a particular problem for poinsettias. You can just come here to the dashboard and view how your populations are trending over the last 4 growing weeks. That's going to be kind of a nice time period. Generally, your chemicals are going to give you about like a 3 to 4 week reapplication interval. So that should give you an idea of if it's effective or not. Now, the next thing that you can do is go into your greenhouse management menu. So the top level is going to allow you to create, edit, and delete houses within your facility. So we can go in here and say we just built a new house, house D. So we can go ahead and add that to our facility. What we can also do is edit some names. So if there's a typo, you can fix that. And then of course you can delete. So if we click into one of these houses, we'll be able to view the bays. And so this is going to be the list of bays that are currently added to house A. And we're given the same CRUD functionality that we were given on the last higher level menu. So we can edit, add, and delete, which I won't do for the moment. And then if you click one level further, you're getting down into the divisions in each bay, and this represents our points that we can add data. So in this instance, I've split bay 1 into a front half and a back half. In this example, it might be that I've stuck a sticky card in the middle of each division, and when I go to scout that section, I'm going to be able to look at each sticky card, and that's going to be associated with this front half or this back half. So here we're also able to create, edit, and delete. So if, for instance, the bays in your facility were really large, you might want to have more divisions. If it's a really small bay, you might just have one. So the next thing that we can do is go into the pest management menu. So this comes built in with the 5 most common, in my opinion, pests for ornamental crops. But if, for instance, you have a crop that is particularly problematic with cutworms, you can go ahead and add that in and begin tracking. And then, of course, you can edit. And then if you no longer grow that crop, you can go ahead and delete. So you don't have to worry about adding in data that you are not interested in. And then the next thing we can do is go into our scouting menu, which top level we're able to choose which house we're in. And then if we're in house A, we can view all the bays that are associated with house A. We can add scouting data. So if there wasn't scouting data for this week, we'd be able to add new data. But since there is, I didn't want to have duplicates, so I've disabled it. We can edit that data. So the add form is going to look very similar to this. But say we've made an error on the aphids in the back half. So instead of high, we wanted medium. We can go ahead and edit. And when we go back in there, we'll see that that's reflected. And then finally, of course, you can delete data if you've just totally messed up where you are in the greenhouse, or if all the data is incorrect. No matter what, you can just go ahead and delete all that data and start fresh. So finally, we get into the visualizations. So the first visualization I wanted to get done was to have a graph visualization. So very similar to the scouting menu, we can click in. So we'll click into house A, and we have a few filters that we can apply to view data in different ways. So you are required to select a pest and a time frame. You don't need to select a bay and a bay division. That's a similar idea to the dashboard, where if you are one of those growers that grows, one crop in each house, then you don't necessarily worry so much about populations in each bay. However, if you've noticed that there's a particular crop that has an issue, you can kind of get as granular as you want and view trends on each of those. So when you populate, you'll be given this chart, and you'll be able to see, based on your time frame filter, how the populations are trending. And then of course you can change and view each individual pest. And once again, the idea with this is that I wanted to be able to view data in as fine or as global a view as you wanted to. So you could really apply this to many different growing situations. And then the final portion of my app is going to be the heat map. So this allows you, this is going to be your facility. This represents all of your greenhouses. So we'll click into house A once again. And then here is going to be an inside view of house A. This is each bay and each division. Once again, we're given the ability to filter based on pest and then growing week. So this would be whitefly data from the last week. And so when we look at this, what I wanted to achieve with this heat map was just being able to quickly glance and see where we were having the biggest issues in our crops. And what that was going to allow us to do is take a quick look and then make a decision on where it is that you want to apply those chemicals, and being able to apply those chemicals in the most effective and efficient way possible. So for those of you that are visual, this is the tool for you. So yeah, and that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching.